By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Welcome to another episode of Timmy Talks, the channel where we talk old school magic. And today we are back at the Uthden Troll Cup number 6 in Leeuwarden, the Netherlands. And oh boy, this is going to be an exciting episode. This is episode number 4. And I've got something special for you. We've got Dutchman Sander, who is playing a Middle-earth deck. It's a completely Lord of the Rings themed deck. He even has a whole brochure added with the deck that explains each character and each card, how it links together. It's just awesome. More about that in the deck section of this video. And he's playing against Italian player Enrico. And Enrico is playing an Underworld Dreams deck, mainly black and red. And the deck is full of beautiful foreign black bordered cards. And what I love about foreign black bordered is that the cards tend to pop so much. I love that color. But more about that, of course, in the deck section of the video. But first, a quick message from our sponsor, 3for1 Trading. 3for1 Trading is one of Europe's leading Magic the Gathering retailers. Their online shop has a fantastic selection of high-end Magic cards, especially for vintage, legacy, and yes, old school Magic players. They now exclusively offer my community free, fully insured and fast worldwide shipping on all their high-end singles, full sets and out-of-print sealed products. They upload new cards every Wednesday and have weekly sale offers and reductions waiting just for you. Use my code TIMMY to get free worldwide shipping on your first order over $500 or euros. Have fun ordering those cards, and thank you 3for1 Trading for sponsoring this video. And we are back and ready to dive into the deck text. I'm going to start with the player on the left, that is Sander. Let's take a look at his Lord of the Rings deck. And here we see the deck of Sander, and oh man, this is such a project out of love. You know, love for fantasy, love for the game, love for Magic, love for Lord of the Rings. It all comes together in this deck, right? This deck is a Lord of the Rings theme deck. Look at the playmat, Middle-earth playmat. It all makes perfect sense. And the cool thing is a lot of the cards here are altered. So if you look closely at the deck photo, you see a lot of really cool altered cards. And Sander made the alters himself, which I think is super cool. So in his spare time, you know, after work, he would come home. It's like, I'm going to work on my Lord of the Rings project today. And I want to have it done when I go to UTC 6. And you know what, Sander? You made it. People noticed it. I've noticed it. It's, you know, effing amazing. It really is. And maybe it's nice, instead of looking at what does the deck want to do, to maybe look at what the cards in your deck represent, because they all link to different characters in the movie. Now he's made a booklet which is also digitally available. So I'll put a link in the description below for you guys. And here you can see a page out of the book. So these has all the hobbits linked to the characters, the magic cards linked to the characters of the movie. So we see, of course, Scavenger Folk, which is altered here. Scavenger Folk is already holding a ring, so that makes perfect sense. And he's Frodo, of course. And the cool thing here is that you can sack Scavenger Folk to destroy a ring, right? Which is what almost happens at the end in the movie, right? That he wants to jump into the volcano to Mount Doom, basically sacrificing himself, but also destroying the ring. And then we see the Pradesh Gypsies, and they represent Sam. And as you can see, again, it's altered, right? We see Sam there standing next to the horse, probably a pony. In his case, we know that hobbits love to ride ponies. And then we've got the Leprechaun, that is Pippin, and we've got the Squire, that is Merry. I love it. A deck at the Uthden Troll Cup number 6 that plays Squire. How cool is that? I've got so much respect for you, Sander. And the cool thing is, Sander won the flavor prize, and it's actually a really, really cool prize. And that's quite an accomplishment, Sander, because there are 200 people here, and not everybody is a spike. Not everybody is playing a tier 1 deck. A lot of players here, and I love it, have brought their Timmy deck. The deck they love to play, the deck they have a connection with, or a deck that they've built like you, a fully flavored deck. And, you know, winning it is kind of a big deal. Maybe just have a look at one more page, because I think it's kind of good to know that his deck has a secret mission. So what he's done as well, Sol Ring, of course, represents the One Ring. We can see that here. The Uthden Troll, of course, is Smeagol, which I think is super cool because you're at the Uthden Troll Cup. Then we see Holy Armor is that special elven armor, right? And then we have the Disenchant, and the Disenchant represents the final goal. If he gets to disenchant the Sol Ring of the opponent, then he has actually won. Or does he want to disenchant his own ring? To be honest, Sander, I kind of forgot, because I remember you told me, because we spoke after this match. Maybe you can tell me in the comments below. But to be honest, I think if you disenchant your own ring, I think you've won. I think if you disenchant the ring of your opponent, I think you've also won. Because that's the interesting thing. This deck is not really about winning. It's more about showing your cards, showing your love for the game, showing your love for Lord of the Rings, showing your love for Magic and Magic flavor. And then, of course, trying to get your Scavenger Folk on the table, which is, of course, Frodo, and get your Disenchant in hand, and then disenchanting the Soul Ring of your opponent, destroying that one ring. Or who cares, your own Soul Ring, destroying your own Soul Ring. Because I guess when you think about it, you know, Bilbo's carrying the Soul Ring, so you kind of want to destroy your own Soul Ring. Anyway, it's getting a little bit complicated, but this is the deck of Sander. Sander, it's beautiful, and actually, it's not that bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not good. You're probably going to lose, but I think it's playable. You know, I think it's playable, and I think it's kind of okay. Now, let's take a look at the deck of your opponent, and that is Italian player Enrico. Let's have a look. And here we see the deck of Enrico, and I have to say I'm really liking the colors in this deck. Like I said at the introduction, I think 4 and black bordered and also 4 and white bordered has a really nice color to it, and you can really see this deck photo kind of pop. Most of the cards here are Italian, so that's really cool to see. And Enrico here is playing an Underworld Dreams deck, and Underworld Dreams, of course, the enchantment from Legends, 3 black to cast, that says whenever your opponent draws a card, he or she takes a damage. And this, of course, is really good when you've got some card draw effects, like Howling Mind, but also Winds of Change. Winds of Change is a sorcery from Legends, 1 red to cast, that says you shuffle back all the cards in your hand back into your library and draw that many cards. So, for example, if you've got 6 cards in hand, you play your Winds of Change, so you go down to 5 cards, you shuffle those back into your library, you draw 5 new cards. But your opponent has to do the same thing. So your opponent is going to draw cards. Your opponent doesn't want to draw cards. Why? Because of the Underworld Dreams. So basically, Winds of Change with Underworld Dreams becomes a direct damage spell. Talking about direct damage spells, we also have, of course, 4 lightning bolts here in this deck. I'm saying of course, but I'm not sure if it's that much so obvious in these type of decks, but he's playing with 4 bolts. And he's also playing with 2 forks, which I think is really cool. So he can fork, for example, his Winds of Change to have the shuffle effect happen twice. What he could also do is, of course, fork like a Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune effect happens twice, which is even better. Can you imagine having Underworld Dreams, then you play your Wheel of Fortune, you fork your Wheel of Fortune. So you've got to put your cards away, draw 7 cards. That means 7 damage for your opponent. Then you have to do that again. You have to poop your hand away and draw 7 new cards. That's 14 damage. Now imagine that you have 2 Underworld Dreams. That's 28 damage. But wait a minute, you only start on 20. So that's end game, right? I mean, that is pretty insane. That's pretty intense, to be honest. So that would be, that would be really interesting to see. I'm a little bit worried, actually, for Sander when I'm looking at this deck, because I think this deck is quite good, Enrico. And of course, when you are playing creatureless, a card like the Abyss is super good in this deck, right? That's the Enchant Worlds from Legends, 1 black and 3 to cast, and during your upkeep, you have to sacrifice a non-artifact creature. So, of course, when you have no creatures, you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, it's going to be bad news for Sander, because he's got plenty of non-artifact creatures in his deck. But this is the list of Enrico. It's looking mighty strong, Enrico. I have to say that you're absolutely the favorite in this match. But like I said during the deck of Sander, it's actually not really about who wins today. Today, it's about enjoying the flavor. Game number 1, here we go. And on the left, we have Sander. He's on the play, so he's playing his Lord of the Rings theme deck with the beautiful Middle-earth playmat. And his deck is white, red, and green. And then we have the deck of Enrico. He's on the draw, and he's the Italian player. And he is playing with an Underworld Dreams deck. It's also 3 colored. It's black, red, and blue. And I think a little white. Is there a balance in there? Anyway, he's starting with a Mox Ruby and a Badlands, passing the turn back to Sander. Sander here playing the Caracas. And, oh, this is cool. Look at that Squire. Oh, I think you're the first person ever, Sander, to cast a Squire at the Uthden Troll Cup. That is amazing. Squire is a 1/2 creature for 1 white and 1. It's a vanilla. And he was seeing Underworld Dreams being played out by Enrico. Yeah, that's what he wants to do. But look at that. Enrico is missing a land drop. So Squire can actually attack you for 1. Squire can start dealing damage. And of course, Sander is also taking some damage from the Underworld Dreams. Going to drop to 19. There we see the Hammerheim. It's going to tap 3. What are we going to see for 3? Oh, this is the Wall of Light. It's an 0-4 or an 0-5 from Legends. It's got protection from black. And look at this, Sander, you're forgetting to attack with the Squire. Oh no! This was your chance, man. Okay, and here we see a Winds of Change. And this is a nice demonstration of the synergy between Winds of Change and the Underworld Dreams, because now, of course, both players have to shuffle back their hand into their library and draw that many cards. And I believe Sander had 4 cards in hand, so that means he's going to draw 4 cards, take 4 damage from the Underworld Dreams. So yeah, that's a really good little combo in there. And of course, Enrico is playing with more draw cards like Wheel of Fortune, and of course Time Twister, but also Howling Mines. He wants his opponent to draw cards. Also plays Black Vices. That goes, of course, together quite well with the card draw strategy. Here we see a Maze of If. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That Maze is unfortunate. I would have loved to see the Squire get in for a point of damage. There's a Forest. Or are we going to see Bilbo? That's a big question. And remember, Bilbo in his deck is the Scavenger Folk. He's going to tap 4. Okay, there we see the Rock of Courageous, 3/3 flying creature. There's the attack. There's the Maze, though. Squire is lost in the maze. Gonna pass turn. There we see a Scrubland. And now he's gonna look at the creature. So Rock of Courageous, just a 3/3 flyer for 1 red and 3. It's kind of like the red Phantom Monster. And I very recently played a blue deck with 4 Phantom Monsters, and maybe you saw it on the channel. And here Sander's getting a damage. And I can tell you that 3 toughness really is a problem. Here we see another dual land. And I believe Sander still has to take a damage from the Underworld Dreams. There's an Ice Storm. Oh, this is cool. Now he can attack with his Squire and the Rock of Courageous. Yeah, go Sander! Very good. And he remembers to take a damage. That's very good of you. And here an attack for 4. Squire into the red zone. I love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, you can only see that here, you know, on Timmy Talks and at the Uthden Troll Cup. Somebody playing Squire at the main event. That's just amazing. Oh, here we see an Abyss. This could be the end of our dear Squire. And remember, Wall of Light has protection from blacks that cannot be affected by the Abyss. So untap, upkeep. Oh, there goes the Squire. I'm feeling sad. I'm a little down now, to be honest. Anyway, Sander taking another damage, going to drop to 12. He's going to tap 3. Okay, there's the Dwarven Warriors. There's the attack for 3. I love it, man. Rock of Courage is getting work in. I mean, Enrico's on 13. There we see a City of Brass for Enrico. I mean, probably the Rock of Courage is going to die, but I hope not. I've got nothing against Enrico. Beautiful deck, but of course I have to root here for that ridiculously beautiful Lord of the Rings deck. Oh, Fireball. I shouldn't have said it. I was jinxing it. Fireball here on the beautiful Rock of Courageous. 3/3 flyer is falling down. It's fried chicken now. And untap, upkeep. The dwarf will die as well to the Abyss in the Mines of Moria. And that is painful. Sander dropping to 11. Yeah, it's going to be really, really tough. I'm not sure if he plays with Tranquility in the deck. That would be a great card against Enrico. It's going to tap 4. There's a Leprechaun and a Tracker. Okay. Then he can sack the Leprechaun to the Abyss and attack for 2. That's probably the idea behind it here. I like that. Sander being nice and aggressive, knowing that if he does nothing, he's just going to lose to the Underworld Dreams. Talking about that, a second Underworld Dreams hitting the battlefield here. City of Brass tapped. It does mean a damage for Enrico. Oh, it's already over with this Time Twister. Double Underworld Dreams means 14 damage for poor Sander. He's only on 11. Ay, 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 ay. That is unfortunate. First game going to Enrico, but it's just the first game. So now both players are going to dive into their sideboards, and we will catch up with them in game number 2. Game number 2. Here we go. Sander again on the play. Let's see what he can do. There's a Forest. There's a pass. Okay, Enrico's taking his turn. Let's see what he can do. There's a Badlands and Dark Ritual. And there's a Gloom. Okay, I thought it would be an Underworld Dreams, but it's a Gloom instead, an enchantment that says that all the white cards of your opponent are costing 3 more to cast. And there's an Mishra's Factory and also a Llanowar Elves. Would have been nice on turn 1 to have that Llanowar Elves, but it's still good now at turn 2. So next turn, Sander can start attacking a little, right? There we see a Swamp. Dark Ritual. What is he going to do? Oh, look at that double Howling Mine. Beautiful altars. I believe they're done by AS Altars, who's also here at the event here in Leeuwarden. So that means 3 cards drawn. And I mean, as long as the Underworld Dreams doesn't hit the table, which is, I mean, it's probably on its way, but as long as it doesn't hit the table, then Sander is in a pretty good position here. Let's see if we can just play out a lot of creatures here. There's a Plains first. Now remember, his white cards are more expensive because of that Gloom. Okay, there we see the Soul Ring, the One Ring. Oh, and it's also so flavorful that it's harder to cast a Disenchant now because of the Gloom. It's very much on flavor if you think about the Lord of the Rings movie. And here we see the Ley Druid. So this is a 1/1 creature. You can tap it to untap target land. And there's some cool synergy here between Ley Druid and the Mishra's Factory, because you can attack with the Factory, and then with the Ley Druid untap it, and then it can pump itself. And here we see the attack, by the way, with the Mishra's Factory. So Enrico here dropping to 18. And now he's going to draw 3 cards. So I'm really expecting to see an Underworld Dreams here. And we do see an Underworld Dreams, but look at that. He doesn't have 3 black, actually. Isn't able to play this. Yeah, I hope that the players spot this, because this could be relevant. So maybe Sander's going to spot it now when he draws his cards. I mean, Taiga doesn't make black mana. That's pretty obvious. Okay, gonna draw 3. Taking the damage. Both players are not noticing it, unfortunately. Yeah, because I mean, if Sander wants to win, he needs the luck to be on his side, right? It's very, very, very hard to beat this deck of Enrico with his flavor deck. So he really needs all the luck at his side, and this is really not helping. Okay, there we see him tapping a white, untapping it again with the Ley Druid. So 1 white in the pool, 2 white here. Also tapping the Soul Ring. And there we see a Disenchant. I believe he has to tap 1 extra mana, right? Anyway, I guess, both players are just enjoying the game. And there, oh, this is a cool card. Antiquities, Gaia's Avenger. It is power and toughness equal to the amount of artifacts the opponent controls. So this is now a 2/2 creature. There we see a Badlands. There's the other Underworld Dreams. And now, of course, he does have that extra Badlands, so he's able to cast the Underworld Dreams. There's a Winds of Change. Yeah, this is really bad for Sander. Again, that synergy between Winds of Change and Underworld Dreams. It's such a pain for Sander here. And I believe he had a lot of cards in it, like 6 or something. So that would mean he's on 17 now, would drop to 11. And then, of course, he's going to draw 3. So he would drop to 8. So yeah, that's not good. 5, 6. Yeah, 6 cards drawn. So it's going to drop to 11, I believe. Exactly. Unfortunately, the dice there are a little bit too far out of the screen. But Sander on 11 and Enrico on 18. And now, of course, he's going to draw, take a turn, untap, upkeep, draw 3 more cards. He's on 11. He's going to drop to 8. Yuck. That is not great. At least he can have 1 really nice Alpha Strike with those cards. That's pretty cool. So he's going to drop to 8. I mean, if he can squeeze another turn out of this, maybe he can actually, I wouldn't say win, but he can get pretty close to winning. Problem, of course, that Enrico is still on 18. Let's see what Sander can do. Go, Sander! Okay, this is pretty good. Pendelhaven can pump 1 of the 1/1s, make it a 2/3, deal an extra point of damage. You can also animate your factory. Then you have 2, 4, 6, 7 points of damage, I think, on the battlefield. Okay, it looks like he's just going to attack, not with the factory, though. That surprises me. Yeah, that's a 2/2, the Gaia's Avenger. Going to pump it up, so now 5 points of damage. For some reason, he's taking 6. Not quite sure why. Maybe I'm making a miscalculation. Could be, of course. Because I do think that Gaia's Avenger is only the opponent's artifacts, right? Or is it also your own artifacts? Anyway, Enrico's taking some damage here, going to drop to 10. And there we see an Elvish Archer. So actually, he's got 2, 4, 6, 7, 9 points of damage on the board. And Enrico's on 10. So he's getting closer. Problem, of course, is that it's now Enrico's turn. Enrico's also drawing 3 cards. So probably going to find stuff he needs. If he's got like a draw 7, he's going to win the game. Which is, it's very likely. Winds of Change will get him pretty close to winning as well. So he's got a lot of cards that will win him the game here. Let's hope his whole hand is just full of lands. Okay, or Moxen, doesn't matter. He's a Moxed Ruby. Gonna tap a black. Oh, there's a Black Vice. There's a Winds of Change. How many cards do you have in hand? 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't really see it. That is 6 in hand, so he was on 8, going to drop to 2, and then he's going to draw cards from the Howling Mine. So yeah, he is losing it here, and that is unfortunate. I would have loved to see Frodo hitting the board and Frodo blowing up his own Soul Ring and then accomplishing the mission. That would have been so incredibly sweet, but it was not meant to be. But still, a big applause for, of course, Sander for bringing such a cool deck here to the channel, and of course, to the tournament, I should say. Well done, Sander. And yeah, also thank you, of course, for watching another episode right here on Timmy Talks. And the next episode will be a top 16 match played at the Uthden Troll Cup. So if you don't want to miss a thing, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And also you can leave, of course, a comment, like this video and share it on your socials. All these things are free and really help the channel move forward. Talking about moving forward, you can also become a patron of the show. Check out patreon.com/TimmyTalks for all the information. And when you become a patron, you get access to the Timmy Talks Discord, and you can get your name in the end scroll at the end of every single video. What end scroll? This end scroll.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning, put him in the longboat until he's sober. Put him in the longboat until he's sober. Put him in the longboat until he's sober. Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. She rises early in the morning. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Early in the morning. Way hey up she rises. Way hey up she rises. Way hey up she rises early in the morning. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Put him in the scouts to the hose my son. Put him in the scouts to the hose my son. Put him in the scouts to the hose my son. Early in the morning, way hey up, she rises, way hey up, she rises, way hey up, she rises early in the morning.
Igitus figitus sumba kazee.